Welcome to Through the Looking Glass. This podcast takes a look of how our perceptions of ourselves and the world around us impacts how we relate to one another. The goal is to use the looking glass theory as a foundation while we discuss societal, cultural, and mental health concepts that allow us to build authentic relationships as we become authentic to ourselves, attracting the connections meant for us. So sit back, relax, and join in on the conversation.
Lift off and the clock has started. Roger, 0G, and I feel fine.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Relationships Through the Looking Glass. I'm so excited today to talk about a really interesting topic. You are coming in at episode 5. We're all the way into season 2. I want to thank everyone for the response and the shout outs that I've been receiving or we've been receiving as it relates to some of these topics. This one is going to be just as intense, and I'm so excited to get it started. The topic of discussion for this episode is called fake love. Are you in love with the person or what they can do for you? Is your love transactional? And I know that's a deep concept, right? Let's think about that. Are you in love with the person or what that person can do for you? So to help me kind of unpackage that, we have 2 amazing podcast contributors who are going to help with us. We have Rodricgus Maxwell, and he runs a Journey to the Throne podcast. And we have Rome Davis, who runs the No ID podcast. My co-host today is Nicole, and we're going to unpackage this term of fake love. Does unconditional love exist? And if it does, what does it look like? We have so much to get to during this next hour. So before we start, I'm going to hand over the mic to Rodricgus Maxwell with A Journey to the Throne so he can give us some background about his podcast, why he does what he does, why he feels this topic is necessary for our community.
Okay. How you doing, Michelle?
Hey.
Hey, how you doing? Hope all is well.
All is well.
Okay. Well, I'll introduce myself, Rodricgus Maxwell. I'm a host of a podcast called A Journey to the Throne. Not only do I host it, I also have 3 co-hosts that's involved in the project with me. And what we do is we give information from experiences and things that our fathers or our uncles or the men in our community didn't impart in us when we were young men. And so we're actually trying to help someone on a journey to the throne. And that was the purpose for the title, because we believe that every man has a throne to sit on and rule, whether it's just in his home as being the head of the household, his own business, or just being a king because he was created to be a king. And we want to help those men on that journey to that throne with our experiences. And so that's where we at with the podcast. And just to springboard off what you said about fake love, I really think that coincides with us becoming kings. That coincides with daughters becoming queens, is receiving love in this journey that we're on. And I thank you for the topic and being invited on the show for this topic. I believe it's a hot topic.
Awesome. I'm ecstatic to get started, and definitely love the concept and what you do, because again, it's about bringing unity to our community and being able to talk to one another in a safe way, right? So thank you for what you're doing as well. Now we're going to hand over the mic to Rome Davis, who is the host of No ID podcast. So Rome, go ahead and let us know about your podcast, what you do on the podcast, and why do you think this topic is so important?
Oh, well, hello. Well, thank y'all for having me on the show. I'm Rome Davis, comedian / podcaster. I host the No ID podcast. No ID is just what his name is. There's no ID, so there's no specific topic. I interview different people on different topics. I get their journeys. I'm now in season 5. So it'll be I've had topics on sex, relationships, dating. My guests include Daisy Ducati, sexual savage, of course, porn star. I've had a dominatrix up there recently.
I
Nipped
think that's the
enchantress.
one. Yeah, that's your last one. I listened to that. I heard it.
Gosh, Michael Collier, Nori Davis, a couple of professional wrestlers up there. I use this podcast to showcase Black and brown content creators, because everybody's a content creator if you're putting something online, in my opinion, whether you're cooking, podcasting, wrestling, porn star, dominatrix. Just interesting picking people's brain to see what their why is, but they also need to share that message. So I think we need to showcase a lot more Black content. So that's the reason behind No ID.
Awesome. Well, I'm so happy that you do have that platform and you are showcasing a lot of different aspects in our community and letting people have a voice to be heard about what they do and how they do it. So thank you for your platform, and thank you so much for being on the podcast with us. And we're going to go ahead and say hi to Nicole, our co-host for this episode. Nicole, how about sharing with us why you feel the topic fake love is so important, and to ask the question, are you in love with the person or what that person can do for you?
Hello, everyone. Okay. Glad to be back, and thank you for coming on to the podcast. I appreciate you here as well. I think the topic of fake love is important on two aspects. One, on the internal, like, are you loving somebody fake because you're missing something within yourself? So you're looking for whatever that is in somebody else. And then also on the external, are you not seeing that person for who they truly are? And if so, who are they? And then what is wrong with your ability to decipher who they are? So I think it's important to shine the light on both aspects of fake love. That's it.
Absolutely. And that's awesome. And we're going to just jump on in to some of the topics that we're going to talk about. So the term love is something that is a very loaded word, right? We kind of get some of our most early explanations or definitions from within our household, but then media plays a role, what we watch on TV, what we're hearing in music. So it really comes down to, who you ask. Like, when you ask somebody what love is, 9 out of 10, you don't get the same definition. And just to prove that, I'm going to ask you all. I'll start with Rodriguez. When I say, define love for me, what would that sound like in your definition?
Wow, it's so broad. I'm also into ministry as well. So of course we go by biblical principles. However, though, we hear so many definitions of love, and my personal one, I believe, is an action beyond what I expected. It's a benefit for not just myself, but it's a benefit for the other person as well. It doesn't take the other person down, or it produces character or create an increase in that person's life, and that's what I believe love is. It's not just with the mouth or just, words or text messages. It's actually an action, what my standpoint is on it,
Yeah, that's a good standpoint too. And how about you, Rome? What would your definition of love be?
Well, I don't want to sound negative, but it is going to come out negative.
No. We want authenticness.
Okay, it's fictitious.
Okay.
Love. That's a fictitious word. You can love something or someone, but are you in love with them? Do you like them? Can you hang around them? You go to work for 40 hours out of the week, and most of us are excited to get the day off or the weekend off or whatever. Do you feel that same way about your partner? So love is kind of fictitious. It's something that we strive for. We say it all day, but is it something that's really meant? Like, I love cookies, but I'm not going to eat a cookie every day.
True. Or we'll have a whole nother issue, right?
Yeah, exactly. Diabetes.
Exactly. And I like the fact that you brought the whole term love and in love, because a lot of people say that's something that's different. Like, when people are, I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Right.
And that, I'm not telling on myself. That has not happened to me. And I have not said that to anybody, but it's something that you hear a lot of. And you're like, what exactly does that even mean? Like, I love you, but I'm not in love. What is it to be in love? And how is that different from love? And that's just some things that I think about. But Nicole, kind of, what's your definition when someone says the term love, or what is love to you? What would your response be?
So with my upbringing, I had to, when I first started out, love meant something negative as well. It meant that they were apologizing for something, or I was about to be injured. So that gives you kind of the context of where I love you was coming from. But since then, I've had to reevaluate and look at the definition of what love is. And to me, I agree with the other speaker that it is an action. It is a choice. It is something that you, like you said, you have to choose on a daily basis to continue to act in this manner and continue to provide in this manner out of love, with love, etc. So in love, I don't really agree with that. I don't even really know what that means. If, the word love is an action, being in love, it doesn't make sense. And that sounds like something you can pick and choose. And I wouldn't want somebody in love with me. I'd rather them have love for me and act accordingly.
That's a good.
Wow.
Yeah, that's deep. Have love for me, but not in love. And for me, I guess the term, it's like Rodricgus said, it's a very broad word. Like, I know I love my kids and I love family, and I love people who I've been in relationships with and whatnot, but it's kind of like, what exactly is that? What is that? And then the whole in love thing. So, because that's annoying me right now. I'm annoyed with the in love thing. So I know Rome, that's bothering me. I know Rome is like, love is garbage, that don't exist. But Rodricgus, what to you when somebody says, I love somebody, but I'm not in love? Like, what exactly does in love mean? What is the difference?
Well, I can tell you from what people mean, because I agree totally with Nicole on that issue about the word in love, like they're separating it because there's only love. But my experiences, though, is when someone say that I love you, but I'm not in love with you, that means that they had a strong relationship with you where you all did things for one another. And now they're stepping back and they're not so much involved in your life no more. So when people say that, that's from my experiences, that is what a person means, that they're stepping back. They have feelings for you, but they're not going to go over and beyond like they did before. So that's what the I love you, but I'm not in love with you. That's where I believe it comes from.
Doesn't it sound like people could be confusing the word lust with love? Like, lust is like that honeymoon stage, everything is nice, they're like, it's all roses. And you have now moved out of that stage of lust, which is where they're saying, I'm out of love with you. I'm out of lust with you would probably be more accurate than I'm not in love with you anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like infatual, like being infatuated with someone. It's a sense of feeling, but then when that feeling is gone, because it's not an action, it's a feeling. When it's gone, now you say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you no more, because that feeling has left, I believe,
Oh, okay.
I agree.
That I'm not heads over heels. I'm not going to help you pay this, or no, I'm not going to.
Oh, you said a word. You said pay this.
Right. I'm not doing those things
jump in
no more.
there.
I love you, but I'm not in love with you no more.
And I wanna poke around with Rome right now. So just to kind of highlight what you said about, love is not a thing. So what if we're in a relationship and I said, Rome, I love you? What are you gonna tell me? No, you don't.
And I'd be like, that's what's up.
Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. You have no idea how bad you just triggered me.
Okay.
Rome, you have no idea how bad that just triggered me.
That's what's up.
I legit have heard that statement so many times, and I'm like, what the hell?
If you tell me that you in love with me, That's great. But I'm gonna ask you, what's your reasoning behind why you love me? You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like,
And what if I can give you reasons?
Okay, well, what would the reasons be? Because I hope it ain't financially.
Nah. No, that's not how I roll. Here, you
Okay.
ready? You ready, Rome?
Go ahead.
This is how I love you. I love your humor. I love the fact that you support me when I'm having a bad day. I love the fact that when you talk to me, you speak life into me. I love the fact that I know when I'm not at 100%, you got my back. I love the fact that I know when you are out in public, you are proud and you talk about us with pride in your voice. And I love the fact that I know somebody is riding with me no matter what's going on, and you make me feel safe. That's why I love you.
That was a good script.
Oh!
What I'm saying is, like, you love me, but are you in love with me? Like, are you? Let me put it like this: are you so in love with me that if we was to wake up beside each other and we both got morning breath, you gonna try and kiss me?
Oh yeah, that's fun.
No, that's nasty.
That's
like,
fun.
But that's love. That's I'm
gonna fart on you. I'm going to tickle monster you. Like, we're gonna have fun.
See, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun up here. What I'm saying is like, if you said that, I'm gonna ask you, like, is that your reasoning? Because what you just broke down is pretty much the stuff like transactional, not financial transactional, just spiritually and mentally, transactional. Right. That's what you said. Exactly. Well, if you tell me you're in love with me, okay, why are you in love with me? You said my sense of humor. Okay, I can make you laugh. I may do something for you. It may, I don't know, I may be really respectful to you. I may treat you with, the way that you're supposed to be treated. Introduce you to my mama, because every man don't bring every woman around their mama.
That's right.
Yeah, I may bring you around my homeboys. I may, if somebody was to compliment you, say, "Dang, she look bad," I would be like, "Yeah, she is, but she all mine." Like I have security in my relationship. That's being in love with somebody. Love is just a 4-letter word that we kind of just throw away around, and it's one of those words like I can literally, like I said, I can just go up to the grocery store right now, like, damn, I really love these famous Amos cookies. But I'm in love with these famous Amos cookies. Nah.
I'm gonna send you some cookies. You done talked about cookies multiple times.
As long as they ain't chocolate chip. We good. That's nasty. I'm sorry. Probably the only one in America. But I mean, I get what y'all saying. But if my old lady was to say, I love you, like why? Like, what's your reason? I'm gonna ask you why. Because I'm getting to an age now. I'm 32. This dating pool. Can I say this word? Piss. It got a lot of piss in it, and I'm over it.
You want to say.
Facts.
Dating pool got piss and chocolate paydays in it. So I need to figure out, why do you love me? Because I can go back to the shallow end if I wanted to, but you need to tell me why you love me. Like, what's that reasoning?
What would be the correct answer? Let's go there. What would be an answer to where the term or the phrase "that's what's up" wouldn't suffice? What could she say for you to say, okay, now that makes sense? It
would be a feeling. Okay. Yeah, I say action. It's a feeling. It's like a bubble in your stomach that's not gas. It's like you'll literally be, like, I had this happen before. Like, you'll literally just be sitting down watching TV randomly. She's nowhere around. You're like, dang, I love Nicole.
Aww.
You may just sit up there and just say that. You're like, what? Dang, I love Nicole. Oh, dang, I love Michelle. You might just pop up and just say that one thing. That's being in love with somebody.
Okay.
That's a feeling that you get. Like, that's something that's thinking with your brain. Like, this person is on your mind. This person, you can't wait to speak to them when you get off work. This person is somebody that just, I don't know, just accepts you for all your flaws. Like, if you fart in the bed, if you don't brush your teeth at a certain time, or, you know what I mean? Like, they just gonna accept you for all. That's in love with somebody. So you was like, Jerome,
leave the toilet seat up.
Yeah, like, leave the toilet seat down. Like, put the toilet seat down. Don't take the food out my plate at the restaurant. Like, we got the same thing.
Yes.
Like, yeah, like that stuff. Like, oh, she rubbed my feet too. She brought me flowers to work. Oh my God, that's transactional.
Not touching your feet.
Look,
I'm just saying.
I'm not asking you to. I won't ask nobody to. But I'm just saying, like, you gotta be in love with somebody. That's some deep.
That's some love right there.
If I bring you around my mama, right? If I bring you around my family, I'm talking about both sides. I'm in love with you. If I can't bring you around my peoples,
All right, ladies, you hear that? If you are hooked up with Rome and he has not brought you around his family, both sides, y'all might not be as secure as you think you are.
Right.
He don't drop some dimes, so y'all better be taking notes. Okay, so we talked a little bit. We hinted to transactional, some things, and not always financial, emotional transaction. So before we jump there, though, how about the term unconditional love, right? The term unconditional love for me, I never really thought about it in a sense until I was talking to one of my ex individuals, and he was like, he loves all his exes. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because if you love somebody, you just don't stop loving them. Then that was, you didn't love them in the beginning, because love should be unconditional. It's unconditional. So there's nothing that person can do to stop the love, because if that's the case, it's a conditional love. And I was like, whoa, that's interesting. Because now
can I jump in?
Oh, go right ahead.
I'm like, okay, now I'm triggered. So I used to believe in unconditional love, and that's what I wanted. But then when you look at it logistically, love is conditional. Right. Like, you're not going to be disrespectful, and I'm going to continue to love you. You're not going to get physical with me, and I continue to love you. You're not going to, take all my money, and I'm going to love you. No, we all have standards, and those standards are what keeps the relationship healthy and what keeps us respectful. So if you're going to disregard all boundaries, you shouldn't be entitled to my love. So my love is conditional. Like, I need respect. I need ethics. I need, these are the things that I need. Yes, I will give you those things if you meet those conditions. So my love is not unconditional.
So your love is conditional. How about you, Rodriguez? What do you think about the term unconditional love?
First of all, I want to know, where did we get the word unconditional from? Because I think that in anything that we do, there's conditions in it. I mean, if I buy, and just for example, if I buy, like I have me a pet Roddy. I bought her, I feed her, I take care of her. However, though, I expect certain things from her, like if for protection, I expect those type of things. I expect a return, and I think that's in anything we do. It's like the planting in the harvest. You want something in what you put in, and so if you're loving someone and they keep continuing to do certain things, then of course it's going to allow you to step back and evaluate, is this where I need to be? And like I said, it depends on who you're loving. Like you said, your husband told you about his exes. Well, I don't believe that I should have the same love for my wife that I would have for my partner. There's a different love between a man and a woman, and there's a different love between two men, I see, as far as like partners, friends, homeboys. So when we say that is a condition, I think it comes with conditions. That's my opinion of it, because you can't just continue to, now I've had experiences where I have exes right now, right? However, though, I don't want anything bad to happen to them. Trust me, I'm concerned about them. I pray for them at times. And
so does that like loving as a human? Like, I love you as a human being. I love you as a person on the planet.
Right. Because I really don't have a relationship with that person no more we've stepped back from you being my lover now. So those conditions are gone now. Those requirements that you expect from me and I expect from you, they're gone now. So no, I don't love you according to the love we had when we was a couple. And I think that's what love is, and I think we as humans tend to not know that there's a difference of love. And real quick, I was just sharing with my wife about how, when you start a business and you have, a lot of family members don't support your business as you see, right? And you have a lot of strangers that support your business and they're buying from you. However, though, you can take that like your family don't love you, which they do, but you can take that and it seems like those Those strangers and outsiders love you. But however, though, they're loving you because of the product you got. They loving you because of the success or what you bring to the table. But when it's all said and done, they can walk away with no problem, but the family is still there. So that's like the topic of a fake love that you can be deceived by. And that's what I don't want to be deceived by, is by fake love. So yeah, it's conditions. You expect things out of other people when you give love. Even, that's just the nature of expecting. Right. You're not doing it for something, but there are rewards and those are results that come from every action that we put forth. I see.
Okay. So, and that kind of hints to the transactional part that we're going to. But before, just because I'm pretty sure Rome has some, he has some stuff for me. So when I say unconditional love, High Five has that song that's an old song, Unconditional Love. So what do you think about it, Rome? I know we already talked about what you thought about love, but what are some colorful words you got for me for unconditional love?
Let's take the un out and all. Okay, there's some conditions to love. You understand what I'm saying? Like, why are you with this person? What conditions did you have for this person to be with you? Let's go ahead and keep it real. Right. Okay? Let's keep it real.
You're right.
What conditions do you have you with a significant other? Okay, I'm just gonna keep it comical a little bit, but this is actually real stuff that's going on. What reading grade level is she reading on? What her literary skills are? What they reading?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. What their finances looking like? Yep. Okay, because you not nobody's overdraft protection. I'm damn sure not no line of credit. Okay. So what conditions is that? What goals do they have? What ambitions do they have? I'm not going to say dreams, because dreams you can wake up out of.
Right.
I'm talking about what ambitions do they have, right? What's the legacy that they want to leave behind? And for some men, I know some of y'all in relationships and married, but when you're single, there's another condition. How many kids does she have? How tall is her baby daddy? Why did the baby daddy leave? I'm 5'4". I'm not dating no woman that got kids that's 13 years old and a child is 6'4", 240 pounds. That's not gonna happen. So I gotta look at all these factors. What conditions involved in that? And when you say like Rodricgus, like Mr. Maxwell was saying, right? You have certain conditions. You don't be in love with your current partner the way that you were in love with your ex. Really, an ex is a why. Like, why the hell was y'all together? Like, why did y'all even bother getting into a relationship? And I said this before on the stage before. I'm being honest. Like, why? Because you look back like, man, that was some dumb shit I was in. But it was conditional. You understand what I'm saying? Right. And that chapter closed, and all the stuff that you didn't like about your why is why you with your current person. Feel me? Your past is what's gonna make your present and your future. Just don't let your past block your future and your present. Don't be stuck on the same person all day. I don't want to hear about my girl's ex-boyfriends. Her past, I could care less. That's in the past. Time marches forward. But it's conditions to being with Rome. And it's also conditions in this relationship. But that reading level is a plus.
But then also, don't you think, I think people are looking for quote unquote unconditional love as acceptance of their flaws instead of like what the real unconditional means. So like they're looking for people to love them beyond whatever they feel their flaws are. And to me, just that statement in itself is kind of, I don't know, it makes the person who's looking for unconditional love from the perception of they are less than already. So like a more healthier position would be, I'm looking for somebody who's going to see me for me and love me for me. I don't need unconditional love if they are understanding that this is who I am.
But flaws, everybody got flaws. There's no such thing as perfect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got a flaw somewhere.
I agree.
Who knows what the flaw? I don't know. You may not know. You may think it's a flaw. I may see it as something like sexy. You may have 11 toes on your feet. I might think, oh God, you know what I mean? You may have an extra finger somewhere, an extra nipple. I don't care. It's like, hell, like, as long as you making me better and I'm making you better and we moving as a unit, we good. I don't care about your flaws. I got plenty of flaws.
Can I chime in? Can I chime in on something real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, I think, and I totally agree with Rome and Nicole on this question, because just can you imagine a relationship with no conditions? That's like a city with no rules, no government.
Right, exactly.
Right. I mean,
right, exactly.
There's no limit. You know, I can, if I can abuse you and do whatever I want to do, then hey, where you at out there? You know, where those women at that, you know, that's looking for and in fact, I'm experiencing, I speak with a couple of guys. I do a lot of mentoring, and I'm mentoring one of the guys right now that's in a relationship, or they're at the end of the relationship. However, though, he says he's in love with her, right? There it is, Rome. He's in love with her.
He's in love.
And what happened is this person is dragging this person. Now, not saying he doesn't have his flaws, because he brings some, like you said, some faults too as well, but it's taking him down to the point that he's blinded and don't see that it's not healthy for neither one of them, you know, because he doesn't have any conditions in the relationship as far as what I see. So I think conditions are like walls. It's like rules and governments within a relationship.
Right. It's like rules of engagement. And speaking military terms, but there has to be rules of engagement. So that's another part of the conversation where people, you know, unconditional love, yeah, that's a thing, this, that, and the other. But then my question always is, where is your boundary? Right? It's like, okay, like you just said, if it's unconditional, that means your partner can do anything and you will still love them. And I guess there's different phases and different layers to the term love. Like, I love you as a human, but that doesn't mean I want you in my life.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I agree.
And that's kind of what I think about when I hear that, because, you know, there's agape love and, you know, all the different types of love. But at the end of the day, we're talking about intimate partners. There has to be some boundaries setting, because if not, you will accept anything. You know, that the famous quote, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's kind of the same in relationships. So we kind of hinted on a lot of transactional talk already, be it financial, be it emotional. So would you consider, and this is for all three of you, would you consider love to be something that's transactional? You know, something that you do something to get something in return?
Well, for me, I think that I don't do it. I don't take my wife out to eat so that she can take me out to eat next time. I think my actions behind love, but loving someone, you look for a return as far as someone loving you back. It doesn't specifically say what they're going to do for me. However, though, you want love back. You know, you don't want to love and someone's not loving you back. And I think that's like I say, that's the nature of everything that we do. There's always a return. There's always a reward. There's always a harvest that you're looking for. And so, you know, I'm not sitting out like, okay, I'm gonna make a plan where I'm gonna take my wife to Miami this weekend. So for my birthday, she's gonna take me somewhere. No, that's not love right there. But however, though, I expect my wife to celebrate my birth, not according to how I would have celebrated hers, but to celebrate it with me. You know, so I think there is some transaction in there, you know.
Yeah. And how about you, Rome? Because I know you got some good stuff for us. What about what about the transactional element? Because we see a lot of that. Females, I'm not dating so and so if you're not paying this bill or this, that, and the other. You know, is that an explanation of what love is for that couple, or is that just somebody who is trying to get something for whatever they're doing to get it?
Man, that's involuntary prostitution.
Right. I was going to say the same. I
literally told somebody that the other day, and she got so mad. I was like, "What are you doing that's so different than what somebody who's walking the street or on some of these sites doing?" And she was so offended. But it's like you said, like. You know, There was a post I put up a couple years back. It says, you know, you are sleeping with this dude just to get some good morning text and hey, how you doing text throughout the day. But then you're judging this chick who's sleeping with the dude for money. So who's really the stupid one?
Right. Right.
Exactly.
But go ahead, Rome. Kind of give us your unpackaging of transactional and kind of what it looks like in the culture today, because it's really transactional right now.
It's very transactional.
Right.
I just had 2 experiences with the financial transaction. I don't care. I'm not gonna say their names. We gonna keep it. We just gonna say whatever. Okay. Dealing with a chick for about 3 years, you know, and we're long distance. Meet up here and there, FaceTime talks, whatever. But she had periods where I wouldn't hear from her. I'm like, okay. And then conversation picked back up. Now we weren't in a relationship. So one day she went 0 dark 30 for probably like a good 6 weeks. But you can still see the post and shit on Instagram. She's like girls trips. They like going out to all these places. Sends me a Cash App request for all the ladies out there. I don't have Cash App. I don't have none of that virtual cash stuff. For $85. Well, I'm just trying to turn up for New Year's Eve. No. Now, in the past, I did send her some money for her birthday. Did send her some money for her nails, but I was like, hell no. You done ghosted me. You done disappeared me. And then later on, I found out down the line that she was with another gentleman because he was paying for everything. Cell phone bill, car, rent, clothes. I said, oh, you a prostitute. Right? So I said, you know what? Hey, I can't afford you. The Bank of Drum is not the Bank of America. So I appreciate you. You know what I mean? But that's transactional. You see a lot of that shit going on. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep cussing, but you see a lot of that bullshit going on, bro. That Cash App bullshit.
Why do you think people keep falling for it though? Why do you think like you just said, like, no, that's not going down. But you have a lot of individuals who are paying for attention. And that's what you said, paying for attention, right?
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and say it like this. And I'm sorry. Sex is expensive.
Why is sex expensive?
Clapping cheeks is expensive. That's some expensive stuff, man. You understand what I'm saying? Some women feel like because they gave up the cheeks, you gotta automatically just give up all the cash. I had a girl tell me that I was supposed to pay $600 for some shoes. I'm like, hold on, time out. I don't know if you witnessed what I witnessed, but I don't see $600, maybe $60. But I'm not gonna kick out, money. You pretty much just telling me you gave me some ass for a pair of red bottoms. Wow. Not even new ones at though. So
that's what they doing.
That's what they doing. This shit is sad. You got dudes doing it too. They're just not getting the recognition or the glorification like the women are. That hot girl summer shit gonna run a lot of people this summer. I promise you.
Right.
How do we change the dialogue with that though?
Man, you gotta set the precedent before you even get into it. You understand what I'm saying? Like if I'm with somebody and we building on something and we're trying to work our way into actually saying that we're in love or we like each other, we can tolerate each other. Like, look, hey, I get it. Sometimes you want nice things. Yeah, I treat you here and there, but I got to do more for you financially. And you got to do more for me than financial. It shouldn't be about financial gain. That $600 for those red bottoms, that $120 for those nails, that can go towards us putting it to invest in something that's going to last us even longer. Your nails going to be messed up in about 3 weeks anyway. The shoes you ain't going to hardly want to wear.
A week.
A week for the nails? I don't know nothing about that. I clip my own nails, so I don't know shit about that.
Well,
so and this is interesting because we see it a lot. It's in the older generation too, but a huge amount of the younger generation is like that. There was a story where a female who was no longer in a relationship with this celebrity person, and she still expected him to pay all her bills. And
homeless.
Yeah, like, but people were supporting it. Like, yeah, he should. And that is so weird to me. That is weird. So it's not love, is that love for that generation is what you can do for me? Because
That's prostitution.
yeah, that doesn't seem
Right.
like
What I believe what has happened is they've put a covering over prostitution, like he just said. They disguise it with a mask. Like fake love. We're talking about fake love. It's just like you got real gold and you got fool's gold. You know, you can deceive someone with fool gold because someone's looking for love. I mean, for real gold. It's just like someone's looking for love. Everybody wants to be loved and love someone. So you can be deceived by by fake love. You know what I'm saying? You can be actually deceived by it because that's your desire is to be in love with someone, and that's what they have done out there. They have prostitution, like Rome say, dressed up in popularity because it's popular. They use a word called finesse, and they make the word finesse seem like it's a gift, when it's actually lying and manipulating, So, I mean that's far as what I see when it comes to this culture right now. It's popular and they pushing it through everything. I mean, you turn on the TV, you turn on social media, it's very popular. That's why people support those type of things, like you were saying, for the celebrity to take care of someone that he's no longer with. If he doesn't have any children by that person, then why would he be obligated to take care of her?
exactly.
Right.
But how about another question for everybody too? Where does the older generation, and I'm not saying older like everybody's like old on the call, but we have people who look up to us, especially in certain platforms that we use, serve as an example, And before we even get into that part, like what are some examples you saw growing up of what love looked like in a relationship? Like, do you have any examples or just like one example that you can look back and say, okay, that's the definition of what love is to me and what I would want to strive for? Because I know for me, I don't have it.
Me either. Can I offer a different perspective okay. So for me, I think where the whole setup is giving without expectation. So if we're giving without expectation, then there's no hurt feelings. Like I'm going to buy you these Jordans because I love you or because I want to do a nice thing for you. Where we get hurt is when we expect something back. And usually once we're hurt, that's when we go out and, the quintessential hurt people. So that cyclical cycle of now I'm hurt, so I'm going to hurt somebody else. That's where I see it happening a lot. And before it felt like the men, were taking, and the pendulum has switched now to women, are accepting these gifts as payment for whatever. And so I think that if we can start with giving without expectation, then, it alleviates the hurt feelings. Like, why did you give it? Because you want it. You weren't expecting something. The expectation is where the pain comes from.
So it's kind of like, if I want to smash somebody, I just want to smash that person. I don't care about him calling me tomorrow or even staying the night. Like, you can literally leave after we smash,
right?
Because there's no expectation attached to it. Versus
absolutely. I mean, it's almost like you're getting somebody else. You're almost getting somebody else into a contract that they never signed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm giving you the cheeks and expecting something, but that person didn't agree to the same contract. So what am I mad for?
Wow.
Because you didn't agree to the contract that I had in my own head? No.
Wow. That's good.
Do you know what I mean? Like, both parties have to agree. So
well, I kind of expect you though to
or have a conversation.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Yeah. Communication is huge. And then as you get older, you are aware of these areas of, I'm going to do this because I want to do it, not because I'm wanting something from him. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm going to go visit him and do this.
And when you can have when you can have the communication and then include the other party in this imaginary contract that you have, and they say, no, I'm not going to call you in the morning, and you can assess that, wait a minute, if I give you the cheeks and you don't call me in the morning, I'm not going to feel good. So guess what? I'm not going to give you the cheeks. Like you have the control to give it or not. You know what I mean? But you don't have the ability to give something and then expect the other party to agree to your imaginary contract.
Right, because you can only control yourself.
Mhm.
So transactional is a thing. And it's not just financial, as we were talking, it could be emotional, transactional. Like I expect to be respected. And there's some things in relationships that there has to be some expectations. Like I expect to be respected. I expect to be safe. I expect that you're not going to physically, emotionally, or anything like abuse me. Like there's certain things that are no brainers. But nowadays you might even still have to talk about that type of stuff. And I think communication
Absolutely
is where we fall short. I think communication is where we fall short. But
Absolutely.
Back to the question for the gentleman, did you to have an example of what love looked like growing up? Did you have an example, a couple where you saw them and you said, you know what, to me, that's the example of what love is?
Wow. I've experienced a glimpse of, segments of love. I've experienced it, it's, like I say, throughout my life, but I've never just seen a couple that remained together and stayed steadfast. Now I've met people like that along my journey, but I've never experienced it. I've had some moments, like I've seen my mother display some love when my stepfather, I've seen he had ended up getting on drugs real bad. I was young. He ended up getting on drugs real bad, and I seen her stick by him as far as like, being there for him, helping him go to the places he need to go for like rehab and things like that. And I seen what love does, because he became an attorney, and they began to prosper from the effects of love. But I haven't seen just a total couple just stay together and remain, because of love. So no, I haven't had no examples. I've had spurts. So yeah, I'm blind to that part right there. I think I have to be the example now.
That's good. And you just foreshadowed our next question. But how about you, Rome?
My parents been married 34 years.
Wow.
Nice.
Great.
So I didn't seen love.
Wow.
Great.
So
That's awesome.
Supporting each other, being there for each other through thick and thin. Mom want to go back to school a couple of times. She ran children's books. Dad was right there supporting. Had your back. Go do it. So yeah, I didn't seen love. I didn't seen what being in love is. So
where does the feeling or the energy from, like when you said earlier, like love is not, that's what's up?
it's not. It's backing your partner up.
Okay.
It is literally supporting your partner. You hey, you want to like say like you got your podcast. I don't want to record no podcast today. I don't think I want to keep doing the podcast. You might, and I want my girl to say, "Fuck you, stopping for."
Let's do it.
Go do that shit. Stop being a bitch. Like I want her to literally say that. Stop being a punk. Go record that shit.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. So
that's what love does.
There you go. That's
what love does. Love pushes you to do the things when to say the things that most people not going to say to you. Like someone else will probably tell them, you right, man. Let's go hang out somewhere or something. But
not everybody can take honesty. Like not everybody can take honest partners. I know. Oh gosh, telling on myself a little bit. I can be. I'm not gonna say blunt, because sometimes I might come across as blunt, and that's not the intent. I'm just very straight to the point, and not everybody can take that. And it's like I'm telling you this out of love, because I would expect the same from you. But some people shut down hard. So what do you do with that? If love is supporting people and telling them and redirecting them when need be, or calling them out on certain things and whatever, but your partner can't take it, how do you maneuver around that?
You might have to, be a tactician, find a way of how to bring it to them. But you don't stop, because if you say you love that person, in love with that person, like Rome said, then you're not just going to stop because their condition of can't handle it or can't take it. Because again, there are conditions. We don't want to be in a relationship with someone that's going to tear down the house, and while we're supposed to be building it. So if you just quit encouraging them, then you've let their failure to receive love and accept love overcome you, where now you're in the same boat with them, and we're both going to fall. So no, you don't stop. I don't think you stop. You might have to find a better way to come at them and approach them, get involved with them, help them out, and help them out with the podcast, going to set everything up for them and things like that. Set the camera up and do everything.
Bring some snacks and water.
Yeah, you're right. You have to find a better way to do it because of the way they don't receive it as well, because I might have was harsh with it. I might was blunt, like you said. But however, you do not stop encouraging them, because that's what love is.
And how about you, Nicole?
Wouldn't it also be I was going to say, wouldn't it be an act of love to figure out how your partner receives messages?
Right.
So that way you can talk to him in a manner that he receives.
Right.
Out of love.
Out of love. So question for the three of you. Oh boy. So what do you feel for young people looking at you? If a young person was watching you, what type of example are you when it comes to love and relationships? What type of example, if you asked somebody who was kind of watching you and trying to learn from you, what do you think they would say that they have learned from watching you in relationships? And I know that's a pretty deep question, so I'm gonna throw that to Rome first because he's been quiet.
I have been quiet. So what it would look like if somebody was looking at me, like how I'm supposed to act in a relationship, how a relationship supposed to be.
If they were looking at you as an example for what love is, what would they be seeing or learning by watching you?
Well, they probably like, man, Drum's respectful. He has dignity. He's making sure that he's building a legacy with somebody. He's marching forward all the time. He knows how to use his words. Communicate. That's definitely important in any relationship. So they'll see that. And I'm just going to keep it real with you. They'll see, because I only date Black women, okay? So I only date my Black queens. So they'll say, okay, this is how a Black queen is supposed to be treated by another Black king.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to actually see that.
Nice.
They're not going to see a disrespectful side. I would never call any woman outside of their name. I never disrespect a woman. I never put my hands on a woman. I never verbally, emotionally, spiritually, physically abuse any woman. They'll never see that. That'll never happen. So they'll never see that shit. But they'll definitely see those things I talked about.
Okay, that's good. And how about you, Rodriguez? So what would they see if young people were watching you as a mentor for what love was, or being in a relationship was? What would you be showing them or teaching them?
First of all, I definitely agree with Rome on those qualities as far as treating a queen, how she's supposed to be treated in public and behind closed doors, so that that can be an example. But I from just being at my work site, I formerly was in management for like 10 years. And dealing with a lot of employees, you have a lot of ladies, beautiful ladies, let's get it out there, that, they approach you a lot, especially from being in the position you are, attractive, all these things here. The women tend to want that in a man, so they tend to come after you, regardless if you got a ring on your finger or whatever. And for the ladies and the young men to see you turn these women down and not bite, that's an example of itself. And, I've had conversations with some young guys and they be like, such and such one, I seen what a name over here trying to get at you all the time, but you are big. But then he'll realize, okay, he's married. So that's an example of him seeing just the flip side of what they're out there doing. He sees someone that's committed to someone. They hear that I speak about my wife highly, or when we have conversation, it's we and not I all the time. They see the respect, like Rome say, the respect that I give my wife. They see that my goals involve my wife and building of a kingdom, building of a legacy. these are the examples that I set forth for the younger people that's around me when they see me. And like I say, one of the strongest ones is seeing me turn down beautiful women. When the younger men see that type of thing, or other men see that type of thing, that really impacts them. It even impacts the women that also, they want to know either you're gay, they thinking, or they just know that he loves his wife. And I think that's a great example for itself.
Right. And how about you, Nicole? If there is a young person watching you and kind of using you as their mentor on how to be in relationships and express love, what would they be learning from you?
Well, the people around me are usually seen, like I see them. I make it a point to, acknowledge them, and I seek to understand the people around me. I encourage them. I listen to them, and I also give honest, clear communication to the people around me, and I act with integrity. And so, of those things, I would hope that the youth or anybody would see that these are acts of love, and this is what love is, and it is okay to look for those things from somebody else.
You guys are so great. I'm about to be the Debbie Downer. I hope I'm about to be the Debbie for real. Like, they're gonna see if somebody's watching me as an example. If my kids are looking at me, like, my kids think I hate love. Like, they literally have said that, and it's just because I guess I can tend to be standoffish until I feel like somebody's worth the time to put in. But then when I do identify somebody like that, I go in and I go hard. And a lot of times that backfires. It's I'm fully all in or I'm fully all out. So that's one thing that would be observable. Like, I'm either going to be all in and I'm going to be 100%. But if I'm not getting that in return, I'm blocking and deleting. Like, that is a special superpower of mine. And I use it a lot. And it's more for my protection and protecting my heart versus I not wanting to deal with somebody else. So I guess the takeaway would be they see, okay, when you do find somebody who's worthy of your time, that you're all in, you're not just half-assing everything. But if it gets to the point where it's to leave, you need to do that. And what I would love to do is be able to show that don't hold on longer than the expiration date. Sometimes things don't work out and you see that ahead of time and you're just like, holding on, we can fix this, but you can't. Sometimes you can't because you can only control yourself.
Right.
So go ahead.
I also would like to add that in watching you, it definitely, the behavior and your words show that love takes work from both parties. Like, yes. You can't do it on your own. And I think what you're showing the kids or anybody who's watching, that there are ups and there are downs, and there are, we all have our personal way of dealing or working through our business. So I say that because if you only showed the good, people would have a skewed view of what's real. I mean, like what love is, like it's all roses. No, it's not. It's a lot of work. And so I think that's what you are showing, that it's work. There's going to be bad times, there's going to be good times, and you have to process through all of that.
Right, absolutely. And processing is what I do. That should be my middle name. So and make banger playlists. You can always tell what stage I'm at in a relationship by listening to what music or hearing what music I'm listening to. So yeah.
Mary J, you listen to Mary J when you about had enough?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. It's such an eclectic grouping of music. So you can tell what I'm going through by the music I'm listening to. So yeah, absolutely. And just being able to process that. Or when I get upset, I'm a creative, so I go into creative mode. Nicole knows that really well. When I'm going through something, it's like head first, and it's to create something to get that energy out. So listening to everybody on here, I mean, it looks like some really great examples can be learned from the culture or the younger individuals watching. But at the end of the day, as we wrap it up, we have learned that unconditional love is really kind of not a thing.
Right.
It's really kind of not a thing. And Rome said, like, love is really kind of, that's right, Rome?
Correct.
Right? I don't want to be misquoting you. Rome is like, So it's definitely work. At the end of the day, it's work. And nothing is easy. Nothing's worth nothing worth fighting for. Nothing worth anything is going to be easy. And if you're in a relationship and it's easy, then can you like hit us up and let us know what you're doing? Because even the ones that seem to be equally yoked, there's challenges, right? So definitely, fake love. Is it really fake love, or is it authentic, real? This is what's out here, love. That's really the question. Are the things that we described, which one is the fake one? The one that we're presented to when we watch Disney movies, or the real stuff, the work, the I'm not buying you $600 shoes, the I'm not going to talk to these ladies who are approaching me because they want me to, because they think, I don't know what they're thinking. So that's the real stuff. So the fake love, from my understanding of what we all just talked about, is the stuff that we have been brought up to believe is all rainbows and fairy tales, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who's kind of going in that lane, you're gonna have a rude awakening,
Michelle.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a reason why a lot of relationships fail, due to that standard of that fake love, that fictitious love that Rome was talking about, that been fed to us, like you say, through Disney and all these movies and things. Because when something goes wrong in the relationship, we didn't expect. That's not love, we'll say.
Right.
If someone correct you and you're wrong, that's not love, because it's based off what we've been presented with as love. That it's peaches and cream and it's lovely, it's pleasurable. No, sometimes it's gonna hurt. Sometimes it's gonna be a little frustration to get past a situation where a fault was done, or a fault on my part. So I think that's a big reason why a lot of relationships fail, is because we've been fed that garbage, like Rome say, that fictitious love.
Yeah, and that can really set some people up. It really can, because at the end of the day, like you said, if you are with somebody who doesn't push you, doesn't make you a better person, it's not is it love? Is it love if the person's not willing to help you do the work? So, and there's a quote by James Baldwin that I love James Baldwin. I love him. That he says, love does not begin and end the way we seem to think it does. Love is a battle. Love is war.
Right.
Love is a growing up.
Right.
And I'm going to go ahead and end this series, this episode, with that quote, because that's exactly what it is. And it's everything that we discussed. Love is a battle. Love is a war. Love is a growing up. And when you're with somebody, it's a growing up together. And that's what real love is. That fight, that battle, that working together, right? Iron sharpens iron.
Right.
It's not what society and I'm buying you all of this. That's not what we're looking at. So I'm going to go around, and I want you to kind of give the listeners where they can find you, how they can connect with you before we sign off. And again, I'm so happy that you both came to have this discussion with us, and hopefully it was helpful for anyone who's listening as it relates to this topic. So I'm gonna go with you, Rome, first. Go ahead and tell the listeners where they can find you and how they can connect with you.
You can find me on Instagram. It's gonna be the best way to find me, because I don't know how to work Facebook. You can follow my podcast, No ID Media. Hit the link in the bio, like, share, comment, subscribe, rate. You can follow my comedy page at Rome _, so ROMEY Rome _007. Follow me on Twitter, same name. But make sure you guys also support these Black creatives that we have on this podcast panel in front of us. By all means, this is a good episode, and you guys need to go ahead and listen to them.
Yeah, this is a thinker. This is gonna be the kind that when you're done listening, you're gonna be like, let me think about some of this stuff. So thank you so much, Rome, for helping and being on this panel.
This is gonna be the episode people are like, dang, Drum's an asshole.
Oh, you said it. Oh, Rome.
He said, "That's what's up." He said, "That's what's up."
That's what's up.
Whew, that's a trigger.
That's gonna make her. I expect her to walk out the door. Her feelings offended immediately.
Woo, that was. Y'all have no idea how that's what's up. That does something to me. But that's a trauma for another day.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rodricgus, and let us know how to connect with you and find you.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram, A Journey to the Throne. It's spelled with the number 2, A Journey to the Throne. Also on Facebook, A Journey to the Throne, spelled the same exact way. You can also find me on another platform that we recently been involved with on the Enterprise Theater at www.enterprisetheater.com. And for contact information, you can just email me at ajourneytothethrone@gmail.com. I definitely thank you all for having me on the show. This was a great panel. I enjoyed the panelists on here. I enjoyed the vibe and just the energy that I felt on here. It felt like family. So, Rome, I felt ready. You felt like my brother right then. Nicole, you was like my sister. Michelle, you like my sister. So I definitely appreciate the invite and look forward to working with you all again.
Absolutely. Yeah, this was fun. All we needed was I feel like we should go play spades after this.
Right. Right.
Carry on after this and play some spades. Nicole, go ahead and let the listeners know where they can connect with you.
I agree with the sentiment. This was awesome. The vibe was great. I enjoyed you guys. This was really good. You, of course, can find me at the Looking Glass, the podcast on the Instagram. And that's it, really.
And of course, she's always with me, so you guys will. She's going to be sending us. We're going to be posting some pictures because she's having some fun, exciting time. So check out for that too on the Instagram page. But thank everybody so much for listening. And just FYI, I know I talk about music all the time. We now have a playlist for the podcast. So after every episode, there will be music that fits the episodes that will be added to the playlist. So it's on Spotify and on Apple Music. The playlist is called The Rabbit Hole. And yeah, so pretty jazzy, pretty R&B. So if that's not your thing, you're not going to like it. But it's definitely a different way to connect with the podcast, with music, if you are a huge music fan. And I'm excited about it. So we'll have a whole new group of songs after this podcast is posted. And like Nicole said, you can hit us up on the Looking Glass podcast on Instagram and also Relationships Through the Looking Glass on YouTube. So again, thank everybody for being here, for sharing your knowledge. I'm definitely sure that it's going to help in just increase a dialogue that we need to have within our community to understand what authentic love looks like and what it looks like for you, and not using everybody else's determination or definition and try to make it fit. So again, thank you for listening, and we look forward to connecting with you on the next episode.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you're looking for more of us or to check out some additional content, make sure you visit our Instagram at The Looking Glass Podcast or visit our YouTube at Relationships Through the Looking Glass. And if you like tunes and music, we also have playlists set up on Apple Music and Spotify under the Rabbit Hole playlist. Take care, be well, speak with you soon.